Squid Game Season 2 had the impossible task of following up Season 1. I mean, the show won an Emmy, it broke Netflix's all-time viewership numbers, and it was an incredible story as a man goes through an absolutely nightmarish game. But the show was actually supposed to end after Season 1. In fact, the creator never actually intended there to be a sequel to the show, but due to how absolutely massive the show became, Seasons 2 and 3 were planned, and now Season 2 is ours. The problem is, the fact that the show wasn't originally intended to continue is painfully obvious. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not ridiculous at all to say that Squid Game Season 2 had a lot of things right with it. There were fun new characters, giving us new games with great scenes, and added layers to this insanely up world. But there's a few issues with Season 2 that cause it to fall short, so let's get into it. So one of the biggest surprises in Season 1 was that halfway through the games, the contestants voted to go home. This was such a plot twist because not only did they vote to go home, they voted to go back. These people realized that they needed the money so desperately that they were willing to die for it. It was such a focal point of the show to truly show us how desperate we can be when financial situations are bad. However, this season exacerbates the whole voting shtick by doing it every single game. And the problem is, you know they aren't going to vote to leave. The show isn't going to have the game end, especially when the main guy is planning to end the games, so by repeating the voting after every single game, it really just felt like non-stop skippable moments. Like, I did not care about those scenes at all. The only aspect of it that interested me was when they developed the teams and they had the brawl in the bathroom and stuff like that, but other than that, like, I didn't need it. We didn't need it. Another huge problem I have with this season is just how much it feels like the first season. Yes, the games are happening, and that's fine. We know the main guy still has to survive. But goddamn, it wasn't until the last episode that it actually seemed like we were gonna maybe attempt to stop this whole thing. Like, this man literally could have gone and saw his daughter live the rest of his life in glory, but instead he chose to come back to the games. That is the whole point of Season 2. The main character decides to go back to the games to stop it. And in Season 2, it barely feels like anything is actually happening to progress that. Because of this, the series kind of feels stale at times as we went through the games and bullshit that occurs within them, rather than the original whole point of him ending the game. This kind of coincides with the cop and the whole outside plot with the rescue team, because ultimately they were pretty useless in this season and basically did nothing. I mean, they lost the tracker and then it was like, that's it. It was just a waste of time after that. Some people got blown up by a door, I guess, but you know. Which again, is the whole point of the second season and him coming back, is to see how this whole show ends. So what are we doing here? Some characters also had wasted potential. And no, we don't necessarily know what's gonna happen in the final season because I'm sure they'll include some of them more, but damn, were some characters just completely abandoned for no reason. For example, the woman who turned out to be a pink suit mother was essentially a non-factor, especially after she seemed to rebel against her superior. When things were happening at the end, it was like, okay, is she gonna betray them from the inside? No! I know that she'll probably have a big role in taking out the creator from the inside in Season 3, but it just felt like, why even include her here if nothing is really gonna happen? So here's the thing, right? An aspect of the show that I really liked in this season was that the frontman inserted himself into the games again, which is like last season, but this time we actually know. And that was very interesting to see how the creator himself actually kind of manipulates contestants, and it kind of feels like maybe he's getting a better and more empathetic view of what they're going through. The thing is though, there didn't really seem to be a point to this. Like, it wasn't entirely clear if he was just manipulating them for fun or for an end goal, or if he was going to betray the Squid Game creators and the people who fund it and take them out from the inside in a plot twist, like a double agent thing. That would have been cool. In the end, he just betrays the main guy, and it just feels really pointless. Again, a lot of things were just like, why is this included in the season? It doesn't necessarily seem important if you're not going to lead it anywhere. The reality is, if they just added like 2 more episodes to Season 2, the show could have wrapped up. It would have given time for the outside homies to infiltrate, the pink suit woman to do some shit inside, and for Ji-hoon to have his big reveal with the creator. All of this was very possible to wrap up the series, but instead it is dragging out. And that's the thing, you shouldn't necessarily have all the main plot points of Season 2 reliant on Season 3 to make them make sense or connect. We know it makes a lot of money, like, you don't have to drag it out, but money talks, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, I still really liked season 2, and obviously it wasn't as good as the first, but that was pretty much a given. There were some really incredible scenes, like Ji-hoon in the suit dude playing Russian roulette. In the first episode, by the way, what a way to traumatize me. The Rainbow Room game with all the contestants cheering them on, and the added layer of us knowing that the creator is in the game and kind of maybe would manipulate them or would defend them sometimes. But ultimately, I think the pacing of this and the setup for specifically season 3 kind of ruined it. I wish they would have just tied it together in 2 seasons by adding a few more episodes. Either way though, I hope season 3 gets right into the rescue plan and hopefully the other contestants join in as well. We're all rooting against these rich people, so can we please just see the contestants kill them? I'll go like a 7 out of 10 though. Pretty good.